Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter and previously sworn.
All right, Madam Interpreter, we have one gentleman who needs your services. It's case 2022 MM7830AO.
1 second, please. Connection is established.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Víctor Valdivia. Valdivia.
Victor Baldivia.
All right, Mr. Valdivia, you're here. Battery, find there domestic in nature. The arrest affidavit, you find there is probable cause as to each count. Is there anyone here for this case?
Me escuché muy bien.
All right, sir, because there's no victim here, I am going to set bonds on each of your case. I'm going to set bond on count 1 at $500 and bond on count 2 at $500. Because the victims aren't here, I have to order that you have no contact with the alleged victims in this case. That's no text messages, emails, phone calls, contact through third parties, no contact of any kind. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Okay, Judge, so you said third-party contact is allowed or
No,
isn't allowed?
no.
Okay, thank you.
No se escucha nada.
So just no contact?
Also, as a condition of your bond, I'm going to order that you do not consume any alcohol. I'm going to allow you to go back to the residence one time with the presence of law enforcement to get any personal belongings. So you can't, other than that, you cannot go back to the residence. You got to find somewhere else to stay until further order of the court. But you can go back one time with law enforcement to get any personal belongings. The way that works is that you call law enforcement first and coordinate a time for you to go over there. Don't go over there and then call the cops, or that'll be a violation of your conditions for release, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Do you want me to mark do not return, or you want me to mark maintain separate residence?
We can do maintain separate residence and then one. Yep.
And that's it for the Spanish interpreter, if you want to have them make an announcement to the audience?
All right, does anyone out there need the services of the Spanish interpreter? Can we ask them, Madam Interpreter? You still there?
We need her.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Aaron Thompson.
He qualifies for pretrial.
All right. Mr. Thompson, you're here on one count of battery, 2 prior batteries.
Your Honor, in full candor to the court, I don't believe there's PC for the 2 priors. There's nothing in the affidavit. It's just, they would just ask for PC on a battery.
I do find there's probable cause for the battery. You do, he qualifies for pretrial release, you said?
Yes.
All right. Give me 1 second. Any objection to pretrial release with conditions?
No, Judge, state has no objection, would just also ask for a no return to the church.
All right, so you do qualify for pretrial release, which is a non-monetary release. So you're going to be released as it relates to these charges today, but there's going to be some conditions associated with that, okay? All right, number 1 is there's no one here. The victim is not here, so I have to order that you have no contact with the alleged victim, okay? Hold on. Not anything you say can and will be used again. I don't want you to say anything. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. So you have an attorney representing you. I just find that there's probable cause. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the alleged victim until further order of the court. If you're going to want to have contact with the alleged victim, you need to get a court order to do that. Before that, and you can use your attorney to do that. Before that, you can't have any contact with the alleged victim. No text messages, no emails, no Facebook, no TikTok, no third party, nothing like that, okay? I'm also going to order that you do not return to the church until further order of the court. to the extent you two are living together, I'm gonna order that you maintain separate residences until further order of the court. You can go back one time with the presence of law enforcement to get what you need to go stay somewhere else. But the way that works is you call law enforcement first, okay? Don't show up and then call the cops. Call law enforcement, coordinate a time that's mutually agreeable for you to go over there and get your stuff. Other than that, you're gonna have to maintain separate residence until there's a motion and that's modified, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, sir, what's your name?
Lothenberg.
All right. All right, Mr. Lambert, you're here, 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I understand that it's typically not a weapon, but the way it was alleged to have been used in this case, I do find probable cause for each count. I'm gonna appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. On count 1, I'm gonna set bond at $1,000. Count 2, set bond at $500. Because the victims aren't here, I have to order that you have no contact with either of the alleged victims. That's no text messages, emails, no contact whatsoever with the alleged victims until further order of the court. And I also have to order that you maintain separate residences. You can go back to the residence one time with the presence of law enforcement to get whatever you need to stay somewhere else. But other than that, you have to maintain separate residences, okay, until further order of the court. Also gonna order that you consume no alcohol or medication without a valid prescription.
Your Honor, state would also request no weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Also, order that you possess no weapons, firearm, ammunition, as it relates to this, okay? But you do have bonds on those with those conditions. You have an attorney appointed to represent you, so, just be careful. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Everything's being recorded. I'm not curious about the facts of your case. I just read what's on the thing and find that there was probable cause. Whatever goes on from here is gonna, that's all that's happening here today, is setting your bonds and conditions of your release. So be real careful what you say. I don't want to know about the facts of your case.
To the defenses you may have.
All right, sir, what's your name? What's your name?
Mod Othman.
All right, Mr. Othman, you're here on 1 count of false imprisonment, 1 count battery on law enforcement, well, 3 separate counts of battery on law enforcement officer, 1 count of aggravated assault, domestic violence, 1 count of resisting an officer with violence, 1 count of obstructing justice, hindering witness communication to law enforcement, and 1 count of battery domestic violence. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there's probable cause as to each count, except I want to hear argument as it relates to the aggravated assault. I didn't see from the arrest affidavit aggravated assault probable cause. Maybe simple assault.
Hold 1 second, Your Honor.
Yeah. In the meantime, while she's looking at that, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. So you're going to have an attorney represent you. I'm going to just, the only thing that's happening today, I'm setting bonds and conditions of your release, okay? Is there anyone here in the audience for this case? No, okay. So as it relates to count 1, I'm set bond at $10,000. Count 2, set bond at $250. Count 3, $100. Count 4, $100. Count 6, $100. Count 7, $100. And count 8, $100.
Count 5.
And Your
Count 5, we're gonna address right now.
In regards to the ag assault, state would just argue that the defendant intentionally and unlawfully threatened either by word or act to do violence to the victim. In this case, I believe there was by act and by word. I believe he said he would slit her throat if she called 911. I believe he also threatened to kill her if she tried to call police. And then there's acts of violence when he's breaking down doors, pushing her, forcing her to do things. He appeared to have the ability to do so. He was hindering her from leaving or doing any of the other things. So he did appear to have the ability to do it. It does say that she was in fear of violence occurring, and then for the fourth is the assault was made with a fully informed conscious intent to commit that felony upon the victim, which I believe is like the fourth element that I believe this court is possibly, that's the charge or count that the court is struggling with, but state would just argue that he made those threats and they were fully formed with a conscious intent to commit them, if she did it. So state would argue that there is enough.
I mean, those, with regards to the aggravated assault, I think those threats were conditional. I'm gonna find probable cause for simple assault, domestic, set bond on that count at $100. Also, as conditions of your bond, so you have bonds on all these now. As conditions of your bond, I'm gonna have to order that you have no contact with the alleged victim. So no text messages, emails. There's no victim here, so I have to do this. I have to order that you have no contact until further order of the court. Everything you say can and will be used against you. Everything's being recorded, so I really don't want you to talk about the facts of your case. You have an attorney appointed to represent you. Today's not your trial. Today, we're just setting bonds and conditions of release, okay? So, you've got bonds on all these. As a condition of your bond, I'm gonna also order that you have no contact with the alleged victim, that you maintain a separate residence. You can go back to the residence one time with the presence of law enforcement to get,
My residence.
you can't go back there, okay? You gotta find somewhere else to stay. You can go back one time with the presence of law enforcement to get what you need to stay somewhere else until further order of the court. You know, if you want this modified, you can make arguments, file motions, and get further order from the court. That may or may not happen. I'm just telling you right now, you can't go back to the residence. You can go back one time with the presence of law enforcement to get personal belongings. You also possess no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. No contact with the alleged victim. That's via phone, email, text messages, Facebook, through third parties. You can have no contact with the alleged victim. And
Your Honor, DCF was also contacted, so
Yeah,
that's for the condition to comply with
because there
DCF.
was, because DCF was contacted, I'm also gonna order that you, comply with any conditions imposed by DCF, if there are any.
And can I have just a moment just to tell him one thing, Your Honor?
Can we put the statute number on for simple battery? Simple assault? Okay,
I can give you 1 second, Madam Clerk.
Probably
simple assault DV, right?
That we did no weapons. Did I miss anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
And Madam Clerk,
Yes.
the assault DV would be 784.011 and 741.28
Wait, 784.011,
and 741.28. I believe that's what makes it DV, yeah.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Walter Christensen.
All right, Mr. Kingston, you're here one count of battery, it's filed as domestic violence. I'm gonna appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Also, one count of resisting an officer without violence. With regards to the battery, I do find there is probable cause. 1 second. Say, I feel like I read this earlier, but now I'm not saying it. They were living together, or they were just brothers-in-law? Is that-
No, they,
Hold on, I don't, anything you say can and will be used against you, I just don't want you to talk about the facts of your case and say something that may get you, so I'm gonna ask the attorneys to talk, because that can't be used against you, okay?
I believe the defendant and the victim, the victim is married to the defendant's sister, or vice versa. So one is married to the other's sister, and they reside in the same residence, which is what makes it.
Okay, they reside in the same residence.
Yes.
I do see that. All right. Because you reside in the same residence as alleged in here, I do find probable cause that it's domestic in nature. So I'm gonna set bond on the battery at $500, but there's gonna be some conditions, okay? Conditions being, you can't have any contact with, Mr. Williams, all right? That means no text messages, emails, no communicating through your sister, whomever, you just can't have any contact with him until further order of the court. Also have to order that you maintain separate residence. I understand you guys are living together, but you gotta find somewhere else to stay, in the meantime, okay? Until further order of the court. You can go back to the residence one time with the presence of law enforcement to get personal belongings, and then you gotta stay somewhere else. I'm also gonna order that you possess no, weapons, firearm, or ammunition, okay? With regard to the resisting officer without violence, I'm set bond at $100 on that one, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
And those resisting with violence, 100. The resisting with violence, 100.
Yeah, it was resisting without, right?
Yes, and then.
Oh, resisting with, yeah, it'll be 100.
100 and 500.
All right, ma'am, what's your name?
Sierra Sanders.
All right. Ms. Sanders, you're here one count of burglary of an occupied dwelling and battery domestic violence. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there's probable causes to each count. With regards to the burglary, I'm gonna set bond at $1,000. With regards to the battery, I'm gonna set bond at $500, okay? As conditions of, and this is very important, because just by reading the facts of this case, I don't wanna ask you about what happened. I'm just going by what's written on the paper, okay? Making no judgment on that, but I'm just gonna say, I just want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. As condition of your release, you gotta have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. You can't go back to the apartment, all right? No contact means no contact. Means no text messages, emails, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, no third parties. Can't tell, your cousin to go tell him, relay a message. No contact with the alleged victim in this case until further order of the court. And do not return. I'm also do not return to his apartment. Also, do not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, okay? And if I didn't already, I'm gonna appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, so you have an attorney if you need any of those conditions modified. It's gonna take a motion and an order from the court, okay? All right, good luck to you. All right, sir, what's your name?
Ryan Johnson.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you're here on one count of battery, domestic violence.
And he qualifies for pretrial.
Was a victim in a booth before.
Okay. All right, ma'am, what is your name? Ma'am, what is your name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, are you the alleged victim in this case?
Yes, I am the victim, yes.
All right, please face the clerk to be sworn.
Mm-hmm.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God? Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna explain to both of you what we're doing here today. Today is just to determine a bond and set appropriate conditions for release. So I'm gonna ask her some questions to determine the appropriate conditions of release. And then we'll set a bond, and if you want to bond out, you can, you say he qualifies for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also qualify for what's called pretrial release. I'll determine after hearing some testimony if that's appropriate for you, but pretrial release is essentially a non-monetary release with some supervision. So you would be released without having to post a bond, but there'd still be these same conditions that we're going to impose, okay? All right. So I have reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. So some conditions of release we can impose are maintain separate residence, no contact. We can also do no hostile contact, which means you two can have contact with each other. You just can't argue, can't fight, can't raise your voice, anything like that's considered hostile contact. And if that happens, you can call the police and say, he's arguing, then he would have violated his conditions, okay? So are you currently afraid of Mr. Johnson?
Am I what? I'm sorry?
Are you afraid of him?
I am not afraid of him.
Okay, so do you want to have contact with him?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, you two living together?
Yes.
All right, so you have any problem with him living in the house?
No, I do not.
Okay. State, any other questions?
No, I do not at the moment, no, I do not.
Yeah, state.
One, Your Honor. Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not of this, no.
Has anything physical ever happened between you two before?
Not that, no.
And if anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future, would you feel comfortable calling 911? Okay, that's all I have.
All right. So you do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. So you have an attorney to represent you. If you want to hire your own attorney, you're free to do that. But right now, the Office of the Public Defender is appointed to represent you, okay, in this case.
Understood.
So we're going to order that you be released on pretrial release. As a condition of your release, I'm gonna order that you have no hostile contact with, what's your last name, Ms. Brown?
Estepina.
Estepina, okay.
Yes, Sopena, Your Honor.
With no hostile contact with, the alleged victim in this case. Again, that just means no arguing. You two can have contact. If you feel like things are getting heated, the conditions are on you, not her. So it's on you to walk away if things start feeling like that, okay? If you don't, and ma'am, I want you to understand if things do get heated and you told the state attorney you do feel comfortable calling 911 if you, he has a condition of his release to have no hostile contact with you, okay?
I've understood, yes, sir.
All right. Also gonna, well, that's gonna be it. Anything further, state?
No, Judge.
All right. So good luck to you, sir. All right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next on our docket is Aaron McDougal. She's currently on mental health status.
All right.
Qualified for pretrial.
I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Ms. McDougal. Are you here for Ms. McDougal's case or are you here for this case?
Yes.
You're,
Can't hear.
you can't hear?
No, I can't hear you, not in here. I can hear you like through the glass, but I can't really hear muffled.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll try to speak up.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're here for this gentleman?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'm gonna address Ms. McDougal's case real quick. Anyone here for Ms. McDougal's case? All right. So I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Ms. McDougal. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'm set bond.
She qualifies for pretrial.
Oh, yeah. Are we waiving her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry. Set bond at, she qualifies too?
Yes, Your Honor.
State has no objection.
All right, we're gonna order her on, we have mental health pretrial release too, or do we still do that?
They do, Your Honor, however, it is rare that anyone gets qualified.
And I believe she's going back to Illinois.
Oh, so she
Plans
wasn't.
to.
All right, I'm just gonna set bond at $500, order that she have no contact with, her sister, the alleged victim.
Your Honor?
Yeah.
Oh. Your Honor, I would ask for pretrial release. If she, if you set the 500, she's gonna have to pay the full 500. I'm not sure of her financial situation because she's out of state. She can still do pretrial release even if she lives out of state.
Okay. All right, so we'll just do pretrial release. Condition being no contact with, her sister, the alleged victim, do not return to the residence. I will allow her to return one time if she needs to, with the presence of law enforcement to get any personal belongings before she heads home. So,
And are you allowing that she returns back home to Illinois
yeah.
as a condition?
Say that again?
One of her conditions, can she return back to the
Oh, yeah,
residence
can
where she
return to
lives?
Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, she can go home. I feel like that would make. All right, sir, what's your name?
Alvin Seibert.
All right, Mr. Seibert. And ma'am, what's your name?
Diana Seibert.
All right. All right, so what we're doing here today, ma'am, you were here, I don't know if you could hear while you were sitting out there, but what we're doing here today is just setting conditions of release, setting bond and conditions of release. So I may have some questions for you to determine the appropriate conditions of release. I have reviewed the arrest affidavit, and I do find there is probable cause. So, ma'am, are you the alleged victim in this case?
I am the alleged victim.
All right, are you currently scared of Mr. Seibert?
I am not.
All right, do you two live together?
Yes, we do.
All right, do you have any problem with him living in the house?
No, I do not.
State, any questions?
Yes, briefly.
Yep.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, ma'am.
There's never been any physical contact between the two of you? And if anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future where you did feel threatened, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
Absolutely.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, he qualifies for pretrial as well.
There's no objection.
Do you guys live
In
in
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yes, sir.
When are you going back to Michigan?
On Friday, this upcoming Friday, the 25th.
All right, so you do qualify for pretrial release, which is a non-monetary release. So I'm gonna order that you'll be released on this discharge today without having to post a bond, okay? As a condition of pretrial release, I'm gonna order that you have no hostile contact with the alleged victim. That just means no arguing, no raising your voice, obviously nothing physical, but no hostile contact, okay? You can also, yeah, you guys live together, you can maintain the same residence. And you can return to Michigan, that's a condition, but you just gotta show up for court dates. There may be virtual options, I don't know, it's gonna be up to whatever judge this comes up in front of. But, I have no problem with you going back to Michigan, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, good luck.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, sir, what's your name? What's your last name? All right, Mr. Gartman, you're here. All right, you just got an out-of-county warrant. Let me just confirm, because some of these did have.
The counts are incorrect. The warrant has, I believe, 7 counts.
Yeah.
But when we actually read the teletype, it was only 6 counts.
DOP one.
Yes.
So as to this 6 counts that are, we'll just do the 6 counts that are in the warrant. They're no bond status. So I gotta say the bond's at none. You're gonna, Polk County, I think it's Polk County will, probably come get you, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, next on our out-of-county docket was Carl Jones. She bonded.
Good for her. There we go. So she's out. Thank you. All right, sir, what's your name?
Ronnie Otley.
All right, Mr. Otley, you're here on an out-of-county warrant. The bond in the warrant's $2,000, but they requested that, that you be held until they can come get you from Hillsborough, okay? So we're gonna keep the hold until Hillsborough comes get you, but there's a bond. Once you get over there, it's a $2,000 bond, all right?
How long do you need?
It's in the warrant, it says $2,000, but to put a hold on it.
Pretrial, can you confirm? Is it no bond or is it 2,000?
No, wait.
The bond is $2,000.
Still can bond.
Oh, he can bond?
You can bond from here, Your Honor.
Oh, well, good. So you, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll set bond at $2,000. I just was read the hell, it said, please place a hold, we'll pick up from your county. Okay.
So if you don't bond, they'll transport you.
You have 33-day motions?
All right.
I'll give it to pretrial.
All right, Shantia Wilson, 2022 CF 12149. 33-day motion.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Let's say 20.
Yes.
All right. All right, Christopher Eslin, 2022 CF 12212 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Richard Wallace, 2022 CF 12147 AO.
Denied, and information was filed.
Durante Lewis, 2022 MM 7001 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Francis Fitzpatrick, 2022 CF 10427 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Dondrick Hooks, 2022 CF 12286 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Carlos Reyes, 2022 CF 11863 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Jacoy Bull Case, 2022 CF 12199AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Ashley Pittman, 2022 CF 12148AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Matthew Kredzinski, 2022 CF 12304AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Megale Sexton, 2022 CF 12181AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Caesar Brito, 2022 CF 11682AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Daniel Walcott, 2022 MM7086AO.
Granted, it was no billed.
And James DeGraw, 2022 CF 11260AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Does anyone need a break?
What do you need, 30?
Yeah, 30. Just a lot of pleas. I need to go talk.
The PD needs to convey offers. The clerks, we need to switch out.
Okay. So how long? About 30
How
minutes?
long, I need at least 30.
I can't hear you.
30?
30?
Does that work? Okay.
So we'll come back at, looks like 10:15.
That works. Sure.
Recess until
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Peresno Leon, certified Spanish interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
All right, we have a handful, I think 3 that need, maybe more than that, so I'm not gonna put a number on it. A handful need your services today. The first is 2022 CF 13546AO.
Thank you, Your Honor. Allow me to connect.
All right. He's got the headset on, I don't know.
The interpreter can confirm there is connection with the headsets, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, sir, what is your name?
José Colón.
Jose Colon.
Okay, Mr. Colon, you're here on 1 count trafficking in cocaine greater than 400 grams. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. The Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Set bond in this case, $50,000. Thank you, sir. All right, the next case is 2022 CF 13544A.
13544AO.
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, what is
Jesús Martínez Díaz.
Jesus Martinez Diaz.
All right, sir, you're charged with 1 count trafficking in cocaine greater than 400 grams. Reviewed the arrest affidavit. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Set your bond $50,000.
for the interpreters was Bernice. Don't make me say that last name. Hello,
Zipico, yeah.
that one. She's downtown court. She's downtown court.
Oh, she's in court?
She's not here, yes, sir.
Okay, so are they gonna arraign her down there, do we know, or?
Not,
So we'll reset her for in-jail arraignment? Or, she's represented by the public?
Yeah, I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll just enter not guilty pleas on all of those, and she'll get a pretrial date? All right.
Case number 2022 VP 5002.
Your Honor, do you need me any further?
Do we have any other special? Okay, that was the last one. All right, thank you very much.
Your Honor, respectfully, can I have Your Honor's last name?
Yeah, Walker.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. You have a wonderful day and happy holidays.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Case number 2022 CT 5003, 2022 CT 5004, 22 CT 5005, Division 82, pre-trial conference, February 16th at 8:30, courtroom 9B.
That was all four of them? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Sir, what's your name? Counsel, who is this?
Your name?
Oh, Corus Irazula.
All right, we're here for an in-jail arraignment in case 2022 MM7753AO, improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon or firearm. This was came in as a felony, was filed as a misdemeanor, first-degree misdemeanor. He's got 41 days. Is there an offer in this case?
There is no offer, Your Honor. I will enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, well,
Hold on.
There is no offer from the state. We can't resolve it. They didn't make an offer.
I don't even know what case you're talking about.
improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon or firearm.
Never.
You have an attorney appointed to represent you. The Office of the Public Defender has been previously appointed to represent you, so any questions regarding that, you need to go to your attorney. We're gonna enter a not guilty plea on your behalf today, and you're gonna get a pretrial date. So what's the pretrial date?
January 19th at 1:30 PM, courtroom 12C.
Hold on.
Sir, you have the case.
I don't
See
know.
the attorney. Call
I
the
don't know
attorney.
what you're talking about, though. You're saying
Call the
something.
attorney and they can explain more. You have an improper.
Hey, sir, can I say something, Your Honor?
Anything you say can and will be used against you. Everything's being recorded. We don't wanna know, I don't wanna ask you about
I'm
the
not-
facts of
I'm
your
not
case,
asking-
but knowing that, go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna ask you to file the case, but you're telling me about something, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then I never talked to none of my public defenders, and I almost been in the county jail for 60 days.
41 days.
41 days, I've never seen a public defender, and I don't even know what case you're talking about. So I need,
It's case number 2022 MM77.
can I please have a paper of that case? Because it's like y'all keep bringing me to court, giving me cases, and I don't know what they're talking about.
So what happened is you got arrested. And then the state, you got arrested on a felony case.
I don't know what your case number you're
I'm
talking
trying to
about.
tell you. You listen? All right. So you got arrested on a felony case number, 2022 CF 11905AO. All right, I'm gonna look it up for you.
Please, can you print it out for me so I can have what,
I'm not gonna print it out.
I don't know what they did this
You're
the
gonna
last
get a
time.
copy of it.
Okay, 'cause the last time they said the public defender was gonna come talk to me, nobody came talk to me, and here I am with another case. I don't even,
Public defender's sitting right there, so she's knows everything you're saying.
They,
but she's
on
telling me.
11/8, the public defender stated they talked to you through Polycom and explained everything to you.
She
And
said that was
a
a,
note 11/8.
she said that was an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
That's what you got arrested on. And then the state didn't file charges as an aggravated assault. What they filed charges as is it's a misdemeanor, it's a first-degree misdemeanor. What they actually filed charges on is improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon or firearm.
So the charge that was an aggravated assault is the charge you're talking about?
That was what you were arrested on initially. So you get arrested, this is how it works. You get arrested. Then the state has the decision, the state attorney's office has a decision to file charges. Sometimes they file charges that are greater than the ones you got arrested on. Sometimes they file charges that are the exact same ones that you got arrested on. Sometimes they file lesser charges than what you actually got arrested on. So what happened is you got arrested on a felony, the state reviewed the file, filed it as a misdemeanor. So what you're in court today for is an arraignment saying they've actually filed charges and it's a misdemeanor, improper exhibition of a firearm or dangerous weapon. So that's what you're here on today. We entered a not guilty plea on your behalf because there's not an offer from the state. So you got a future court date on January 19th.
Can you
Your
do?
attorney's gonna talk to you.
I'm saying, like, I honestly say, Honor, I haven't talked to no attorney in the county jail. And can I please have you to write that case number or somebody
You're
write
gonna
it?
get it. You're gonna get it in your paperwork.
In
It's
what?
gonna be in your paperwork.
I'm gonna get it today?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, good luck.
thank you.
Yep. right, what's your name?
Jamal Jarvis.
All right, Mr. Jarvis, you're here for an in-jail arraignment in case 2022 MM6860 AO, violation of a one-count violation of domestic violence injunction, and another count of violation of domestic violence injunction. You're represented by the Office of the Public Defender. Is there an offer to resolve this case?
No, Judge.
And we will enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, so we're gonna enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You're gonna get a court date. When's the next court date?
Division
This is a victim
50
case.
pretrial conference, December 9th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4E.
All right, next court date's going down on December 9th. All right?
Okay.
Good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
Miles Lazard.
All right, Mr. Lassard, you're represented by the Office of the Public Defender. It's case 2022 MM6956 AO. This is an arraignment, one count of trespass in a structure. It's a second-degree misdemeanor. He's got 40 days. Is there an offer to resolve this case?
Yes, Judge, state did convey an offer to Mr. Lassard of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the Orlando Public Library at 101 East Central Boulevard, and cost of investigation of $50608 to OPD.
And he would like to accept the state's offer and enter plea of no contest.
All right, Mr. Lassard, you heard everything your attorney had to say and the state had to say. It's your understanding that you're going to resolve your case here today?
Yes, sir.
All right, I was handed a plea form by your attorney. Do you have the opportunity to go over this plea form with your attorney?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand that by resolving your case here today, that you're waiving the right to go to trial?
Yes, sir.
And that you're waiving the rights associated with going to trial that are listed at the top of this plea form?
Yes, sir.
Under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's happening here today?
Yes, sir.
So you're going home.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea to this offense will subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you are on probation for a separate offense, a plea to this offense might be used to violate that probation?
Yes, sir.
And that, do you understand that if you've ever been convicted of a sexually motivated or sexually violent offense, a plea to this offense could subject you to involuntary civil commitment?
That's right.
It was a no contest plea. We'll accept the no contest plea. We'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 40 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 40 that you've already served. So you will be released as it relates to this charge today. We'll also order that you do not return to the Orlando Public Library at 101 East Central Boulevard. Also have to impose court costs and cost of investigation. Is it 156 or 56?
56.
5608?
Yes.
Cost of investigation of $56.08. I'll give you 1 year from the date of your release to settle up. The financial obligations are to be on a payment plan with the clerk's office making regular payments.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and if you don't settle the financials, the clerk's going to administratively suspend your driver's license, all right? All right, sir, what's your name?
Noah Sanders.
All right, Mr. Sanders, you're here, one count. Robbery, one count of grand theft, third degree, one count battery, one count criminal mischief. Give me 1 second. All right, I do find there's probable causes to each count. I'm gonna appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm gonna stay the bond on count 1 at $5,000. Count 2, do 100, count 3, 100, count 4, 100. Okay?
I'm lost.
And Your Honor, state would ask for no contact, no return.
Okay, as a condition of your bond too, we're also gonna order that you have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, and you don't go back to that liquor store, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
Brian Buckhart.
All right, Mr. Buckhart, you are here on one count of trespass on property after warning. Is there an offer to resolve this case?
Yes, Judge, state did convey an offer to Mr. Bookhart of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to the Wawa.
And he would like to accept and enter plea of no contest, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bookhart, you heard what your attorney, or I haven't appointed the public defender, but you heard what the attorneys in here had to say, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
That's all right. I've been called worse. So you want to resolve your case here today?
Yes, sir.
All right. I handed a plea form. Do you have an opportunity to read and go over this plea form? This plea form here?
Form
Did you
just signed.
have an opportunity to read and go over this plea form?
Yes, sir.
All right, you understand that by resolving your case here today that you're waiving the rights that are listed at the top of this plea form?
I want to accept I'm trying to get released today, honestly.
Yeah, remember when back there I went over all the rights you gotta give up to accept the plea?
Okay.
That's what he's referring to.
Yeah, I'm just asking, I gotta ask a couple questions. Like, you understand you have the right to go to trial on this charge, right? And that if you want to resolve it here today, you're waiving your right to go to trial. You understand that?
I would like to resolve it today.
Yeah, and then in order to do that, you gotta waive your right to go to trial. So is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications affecting your ability to understand what's happening here today?
No, sir.
Anyone threaten you or coerce you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
You understand that if you are on probation for a separate offense, a plea to this offense might be used to violate that probation?
No, sir.
You don't understand that?
I do.
Okay. Are you on probation for something else?
No, sir.
All right. All right, do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea to this offense will subject you to deportation? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you understand that if you've ever been convicted of a sexually motivated or sexually violent offense like rape, that a plea to this offense might be used, subject you to involuntary civil commitment?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, accept the no contest plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, was it 2 days?
Yes, Judge.
2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days that you've already served. So you'll be released as it relates to this charge today. Also, I have to order that you do not return to the Wawa at 1200 West Colonial Drive, Orlando. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. Also, I impose court costs. I'll give you 1 year from the date of your release to settle up the court costs or be on a payment plan with the clerk, making regular payments, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. All right, what's your name?
Damien Anthony Davis.
All right, Mr. Davis. You're here on, you got 2 cases. 2022 MM 7836 AOs, 2 counts, 1 count of resisting officer without violence, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Also have 2022 MM 7835 AO, which is 1 count of trespass on property after warning. Is there an offer to resolve this case?
Yes, Judge. State did convey an offer to Mr. Davis of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to the Family Dollar. And that's for both cases.
All right. All right, Mr. Davis, you heard what the state attorney had to say, and I was handed a plea form. It's my understanding you want to resolve your case here today?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right. I was handed this plea form. Do you have a chance to go over this plea form?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand that by resolving your cases here today, that you're waiving your right to go to trial on each of those cases?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you're waiving the rights that are listed at the top of this plea form?
Yes.
All right. You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea to this offense will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand, let me ask you this, anyone threaten you or coerce you to enter this plea?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's happening here today?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you are on probation for a separate offense, a plea to this offense might be used to violate that probation?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand that if you've ever been convicted of a sexually motivated or sexually violent offense, a plea to this offense could subject you to involuntary civil commitment. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, well, accept the no contest plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days that you already served. So you'll be released as it relates to this, both of these cases today. We'll also order that you do not return to the Family Dollar at 2712 North Pine Hills Road. Also have to impose court costs. I'll give you 1 year from the date of your release to settle up the court costs or be on a payment plan with the clerk's office, okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck. right, sir, what's your name?
Joe Collier.
All right, Mr. Collier. You're here one count of driving while license suspended. As a habitual traffic offender, I reviewed the arrest affidavit. Do find there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'll stay the bond in that case at $2,500. Anything further from State or Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck. Hi, man. What's your name?
Yeah, Frazier.
All right, Ms. Frazier. You here on 4 counts: robbery, 1 count robbery, 1 count grand theft, 3rd degree, 1 count battery, 1 count criminal mischief. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I found probable cause as to counts 1 and 2. I don't find probable cause as to the battery, the criminal mischief. Say, do you have any argument as it relates to those two? I believe the co-defendant was the one who did the battery and the breaking of the door.
No argument, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll ROR in counts 3 and 4. So I found no probable causes to the battery and criminal mischief as it relates to you. I do find probable causes to counts 1 and 2. So I'm going to stay the bond on count 1 at $5,000, count 2, $150. If I haven't already, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, so I have an attorney help you out. Okay? All right.
Your Honor, state with us for no return, no
yeah,
contact.
Also, the co-defendant was in here earlier. I'm going to impose the same conditions on you that I did him, and that's do not return. You can't go back to the liquor store. No contact with the alleged victim. Okay? That's just a condition of your bond.
My newborn for everything.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, man. What's your name?
Jamiria Bennett.
All right, Ms. Bennett. You're here in 1 count. You're here for an arraignment. It's 2022 CT 5399 AO, driving while license suspended with knowledge. That's a 2nd-degree misdemeanor. Is there an offer to resolve this case?
Yes, Your Honor, State made an offer of an adjudication, credit time served.
And we're gonna, enter a plea of not guilty. She's on probation, Your Honor.
All right. So you already have the Office of the Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. So we'll enter a not guilty plea, and you'll get another court date. When's the next court date?
She has 2 cases, 2022
Okay.
CT 5399.
Yep, and then 2022 MM 2761, that's 1 count of petty theft, 2nd-degree misdemeanor. Not guilty plea in both, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Denial.
Oh, that's the BOP.
Denial.
So we'll deny it, okay, I see.
Okay, so Division 80 pre-trial conference is December 16th at 9 o'clock. Case number 2022 Division 82 BOP status, January 9th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
Good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
James Shaw.
All right, Mr. Shaw, you're here on 1 count of no,
Yes.
yeah, no motor vehicle registration.
Sign here.
Why'd they arrest you? Anyway,
And there was an offer of an adjudication, credit time served, Your Honor, to resolve Mr. Shaw's case, and he would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest. Yeah.
all right, Mr. Shaw, I was handed a plea
Yeah,
form.
he's-
Do you have a chance to go under the plea form?
Yes.
All right. You want to resolve your case here today with a no contest plea?
Yes.
All right. You understand that by resolving your case here today, you're waiving the right to go to trial?
Yes.
You understand that by resolving your case here today, you're waiving the rights that are listed on the top of this plea form that are associated with going to trial?
Yes.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of this offense will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Do you understand if you've ever been convicted of a sexually motivated or sexually violent offense, a plea of this offense could subject you to involuntary civil commitment?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's happening here today?
No, sir.
Anyone threaten you or coerce you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
All right, we'll accept the no contest plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, what, 1 day? 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day that you've already served. So you'll be released as it relates to this charge today. I also have to impose court costs. I'll give you 1 year from the day you're released to take care of the court costs, okay? No.
But there is a judge into that case. You gotta call the attorney and they gotta file a motion before that judge.
All right, so you'll be released as it relates to this charge today, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. Y'all have a nice day, too.
You too.
Thanksgiving.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving. All right, sir, you can come up. So what's your name?
Matthew Chisholm.
All right, Mr. Chisholm, you're here on 1 count of battery. It's filed as a first-degree misdemeanor, 2022 MM 7724AO. The Office of the Public Defender has previously been appointed to represent you. Counsel, what are we doing with this one?
Entering a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, so once you're not guilty plea, and you're going to get another court date, okay? All right.
Division 81, pretrial
This
conference,
one.
December 16th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 16.
All right, that's my division. I'll see you on the 16th, okay?
Originally, they charged me with a felony misdemeanor.
Oh, this is the second one.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Jose Antonio Garcia.
All right, Mr. Garcia, you're here for an arraignment in 2022 MM 7249AO. The Office of the Public Defender has previously been appointed to represent you. On account of battery, domestic violence in Division 50, that's a first-degree misdemeanor. Counsel, what are we doing with this one?
Entering a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll enter a not guilty plea. You're going to get another court date, okay?
Division 50, pretrial conference, December 9th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4E.
Good luck to you, sir. All right, sir, what's your name?
Keenan Johnson.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you're just here for an arraignment today. It's battery, domestic violence. It's 2021 MM 3783AO. It's filed as a first-degree misdemeanor. I don't see where the Office of the Public Defender has been appointed yet, so I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay? So you have an attorney. The only thing that's happening today is an arraignment, okay? So arraignment means
How do I got domestic violence? I got time served and that case got thrown out.
Oh. So.
I'll have them served today.
Okay. We'll have to reset.
It'll be recalled.
held on this one?
Serve you in. And then you'll be brought back to deal with it.
How do I got a case set? I don't understand.
Once you get it in jail,
Yeah, but what I'm trying to understand is they threw that case out. If you throw a case out.
they can throw it. They can say, I'm not gonna move forward and later file.
Okay.
The state
All
can
right.
do that.
All right, so it's a 2021 case. The state has filed charges and they issued a summons, but it was returned because you were in jail, so you didn't get the summons. So they asked that you be set here today. So if there was another case that you resolved, this case has not been resolved. So they filed charges on, I don't know anything about it other than the state filed charges and you're here for an arraignment, okay? We're gonna have to reset you for an arraignment now that you've been served the summons. Now that you're here, we can reset until tomorrow.
No, usually we'll have our investigators do it today, usually, unless he bonds out, then they have to go find him. I don't know what his other charges are holding him. It's usually within like a week or so.
One thing, I had 3 charges. I don't know if this had the same thing, but I've been sitting here waiting on reinstatement on, because they dropped my 3 charges that violated my bond. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that.
He currently has an open ag bat open. He currently has a bat DV open.
Separate.
Mhm.
He's not being held on this one, right?
I do not believe so.
I'm being held, but
Right, not on this case. This case was a summons, so it's like a no
And they'll reset them.
We'll just return to the state to protect service. I don't know anything that's going on in this case, but the state has filed the charges. You're not being held on this case, but they wanted to get you in front of a judge while you're being held on the other cases. I don't know what's going on in your other cases.
Okay.
So the only thing, so we're gonna reset this. We're gonna return it to the state to serve you if they decide to do that, okay?
So for my other case, it just.
I don't know anything about your other cases.
He's currently revoked on an ag bat. He's not.
I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you.
Okay, that's all. Okay, that's all. Yeah.
I will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you on this case. And so if you have questions, you have an attorney that you can direct those questions to.
All right.
All right, good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
East Lamont.
All right, Mr. Lamont, you're here in 2022 MM7754AO. It's for an arraignment. The state filed charges as misdemeanors. Count 1 is resisting officer without violence. Count 2, driving without a valid driver's license. Count 1 is a first-degree misdemeanor. Count 2 is a second-degree misdemeanor. I show the public defender's office has been previously appointed. So what are we doing with this one?
The state did not make an offer, Your Honor, so we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Is he being held on anything other than this one?
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to know.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to take no action. We're just going to enter a not guilty plea on this case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you'll get a future court date in this case. We're not messing with your other cases. What else is holding?
Division 8-3, pretrial conference, December 12th at 8:30.
December, you said December 12th?
All right, good luck.
You need to call the. On which case? You're gonna have to, that's why I said you gotta call the attorney, they can do that.
He's currently sitting on a VOP.
No, I know.
All right, sir. What's your name?
My name is Richard Lemon.
All right, Mr. Lemon, you're here on one count of resisting officer without violence except for an arraignment today in 2022 MM7751AO. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. It's got 42 days in. The public defender's office has been previously appointed. What are we doing with this one?
Entering a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right.
Division 8-4, pretrial conference, December 19th at 8:45, courtroom 4B.
It's right here. Yeah, but you gotta wait until you speak to your attorney to resolve the VOP. Listen.
My name's Kiara London.
All right, Ms. London, you're here for an arraignment in 2022 MM7037AO. It's one count of petty theft of $100 or more. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. It looks like this summons was also unserved. So I guess I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. And I believe you're being held on something else, correct? All right.
VOP.
So,
I'll go to court tomorrow.
all right, so I've appointed the office of the public defender. Are we entering a not guilty plea in this one? Oh, we can't. We got to
we
return to
can't.
the state for service. Sorry.
They're gonna serve you.
So we're going to return to the state's attorney's office to serve you the summons in this case, and then you're probably going to get reset for a new court date, okay? We're not messing with the other case that's holding you. This is just a separate case that the state attorney filed. I don't know anything about it other than the state decided to file charges.
Is it a bond? Can I get a bond?
It would more likely a notice to appear, right?
She's not being held on that.
Right. You're not being held
You're
on
not
this
being held
case.
on this case.
You're being held on something else.
It's just a notice to appear.
Okay.
All right?
Oh, so I'm not being held on this at all?
No. It's the attorney's number.
Okay.
All right, sir. What's your name?
Michael Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you're here for an arraignment, 2022 MM6856AO. It's one count of battery, domestic violence, in Division 50. The public defender's office has been previously appointed to represent you. So, counsel, what are we doing this one?
Entering a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, so we're going to enter a not guilty plea. You're going to get a court date down
Okay.
Division 50, pretrial conference, December 9th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4E.
Good luck, sir.
They can't. Okay.
Docket was Cole, Ontario, he bonded.
All right. All right, ma'am, what's your name?
Adrian Fournier.
All right, Ms. Fournier, you're here, one count. Filed as larceny, other theft.
Petty theft.
I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there's probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm gonna stay the bond at $250, okay? All right,
Your Honor,
good
she
luck.
would ask for a no return.
And yeah, as a condition of your bond, if you do bond out, you can't go back to the Walmart, okay?
I never wanna.
That's all right. Just letting you know. All right, good luck.
Your Honor, next on the docket was Constantine
Mm-hmm.
Hyacinth.
Yep.
He refuses appearing.
All right, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Hyacinth. You want to waive his appearance?
I will waive, Your Honor.
All right. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'll set bond at $250.
Your Honor, she would ask for a no return.
No return to, what was this?
I'm sorry.
The library.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He was,
He refuses appearance.
oh, he refused. I didn't see any other history. There was an offer to resolve. Could I try to speak with him, Your Honor, and see if he would come tomorrow to resolve his case? I didn't see anything else.
Yeah, we can reset him to tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Good, yeah, you guys are appointed now, so. All right, what's your name, sir?
Tyler Osborne.
All right, Mr. Osborne,
He qualifies for pretrial.
you're here, one count of battery.
Sir.
All right. You qualify for pretrial release, which is non-monetary release. State any objection to pretrial release?
I don't know who he is. Oh, I have this one. That's why I couldn't find it.
Your Honor, state's only concern is he was just released for a bat TV strangulation and false imprisonment 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And his prior VOPs and is a multi-state offender, of other violent felonies, several violent felonies, so I don't believe he's a proper candidate for PTR, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, one purpose of bail bond is to ensure one's presence. Although he has history, one thing he doesn't have is failures to appear. If he's on pretrial release, they'd be able to monitor him, and if he violates, he'd be brought back here and held at no bond. So I believe supervision would be appropriate in this case.
All right, we're gonna release you on pretrial release as a condition of your release, so we're gonna order you have no contact, with the alleged victim in this case.
Okay.
Also that you possess no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, okay?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Your Honor, did you have Landers? Did you have, I know you had Landers, right?
Yeah,
I don't-
I don't know what happened with Landers. Well, I had his face sheet, but I didn't have his.
Me too.
You have the booking number?
Zachary.
I have the affidavit. I provided it to the PD to read.
Yeah, I didn't have the affidavit either. I had to get it from the state, but
Exactly. I just had the face sheet.
so is he in jail? I don't know what's going on. Pretrial?
He should have been here.
I can provide it.
Pretrial said he should have been here.
You didn't make our docket, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll reset it until tomorrow?
Reset for tomorrow?
No, sorry, it's showing that he's scheduled for tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Okay, scheduled for tomorrow, 1.
Already scheduled for tomorrow. All right, sir, what's your name?
Tommy.
Tommy what?
Payne.
All right, Mr. Payne. You're here on one count, resisting an officer without violence. I'm gonna appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Review the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'll stay the bond in that case at $500. You're also out on bond on a battery in case 2022 CF 11804AO.
And Your Honor, no information has been filed to date. He was seen at IA's October 11th, and to date, no information has been filed.
Right, and according to the affidavit, it sounds like was the same alleged victim, but they don't want to press charges, so I'm gonna take no action on that. But I am gonna, as a condition of your bond, order that you have no contact with the victim, okay?
Yes, sir.
No contact means no contact, so if you're out on bond and you have contact with this person, even if it's polite contact, you can be held in violation of your release, and they can bring you back and be held no bond, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
Miguel Perez Guzman.
All right, Mr. Perez Guzman, you're here on one count of resisting an officer without violence.
And,
Reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find that there is probable cause.
And Your Honor, the state made an offer of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and court costs, and Mr. Perez Guzman would like to accept and enter plea of no contest.
Well, I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find there's a factual basis. I'm gonna change that. So anyway, handed a plea form. Do you have a chance to go over this plea form with the attorney standing right there?
Yes, sir.
All right, you understand by resolving your case here today that you're waiving the right to go to trial?
Yes, sir.
And that you're waiving the rights listed on the top of the plea form?
Yes, sir.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of this offense would subject you to deportation?
Excuse me, sir.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea to this offense will subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand that if you've ever been convicted of a sexually motivated or sexually violent offense, a plea to this offense could subject you to involuntary civil commitment?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you are on probation for a separate offense, a plea to this offense might be used to violate that probation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyone threaten you or coerce you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
All right. You under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's happening here?
No, sir.
All right. Well, accept the no contest plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, essentially to what, 2 days?
Yes, sir.
2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days of party you served, so you'll be released as it relates to this charge today.
Thank you.
Also have to impose court costs. I'll give you 1 year from the date of your release to settle up the court costs or be on a payment plan with the clerk's office making regular payments, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck.
You too. Thanks.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Justine Stevenson?
Stevenson?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Stevenson, you're here on 2 counts, 1 count of battery, 1 count resisting officer without violence. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. I do find probable cause as it relates to the battery. I don't think. I do not find probable cause as it relates to the resisting officer without violence. So I'm gonna stay the charge, I'm gonna stay the battery count, the bond at $500. I'm gonna ROR you on the resisting count, and the public defender's office is appointed to represent you, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Just for the record, state would argue that he refused to provide information, which is within the affidavit, which is a way to resist an officer without violence. So state would object and would ask for a no return to Celine.
Okay, I understand the argument. It was a close one, but I'm still gonna find no probable cause, and we'll also order that you don't return to the matter, all right? All right, good luck.
Your Honor, on city and county ordinances, Bronson Diamond, currently on mental health status.
All right.
And if you appoint, Your Honor, I will waive.
Yeah, the PD's been previously appointed in his other case, so let me look.
She's been deemed, she has competency concerns, Your Honor. I will waive the appearance.
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember reading this. All right, so we'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender on the new case of disorderly conduct. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there's probable cause. I'm gonna stay the bond at $250. I'm gonna take no action on the BAT Leo 2022 CF 1081080.
And for count two, are you taking no action on the whole case?
Take no action on the bond on her felony. We're just, yeah, not gonna mess with it.
Your Honor, the next case, Mr. Josiah Higgins.
Mhm.
He's pretty bonded.
She bonded. All right, sir, what's your name?
Michael Porter.
All right, Mr. Porter, you're here one count of disorderly conduct. Reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm gonna set bond in this case at $500. Or also order that you have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, okay? All right, ma'am, what's your name? Sorry, what's your name again? Whiskey Wynn, what's the last name?
Gould.
All right, Ms. Gould. You're here on one count of driving while license suspended. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You were also out on bond on possession of alprazolam and possession of morphine in 2022 CF 6421AO. I'm taking no action on those bonds in that case.
See, I didn't know.
Bond on the new charge.
Stay the bond at, what's it, $500? You have an attorney to,
Yeah, right there. Thank you so much.
all right, you're welcome. All right, sir, what's your name?
Richard Aldridge.
All right, Mr. Aldrich, you're here on one count of grand theft, third degree, motor vehicle, one count of petty theft. Say, what was the petty theft? The tag?
I have no.
Oh, no, I'm asking to stay. I don't want you to, while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in this case. So you have an attorney to represent you. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Everything's being recorded. The only thing we're doing here today is setting conditions of release and addressing the case that you're out on bond, okay? So I do find there's probable cause for the grand theft third degree. The petty theft, is that the tag? Is that what they're?
I believe it's, yes, the tag and then something about the debit card.
I don't find probable causes to petty theft. Maybe something else is not petty theft. I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna find no probable causes to petty theft. So we're RORU as it relates to the petty theft. I'm gonna stay the bond of $1,000 on the grand theft. They also are out on bond in two separate felony case numbers, 2022 CF 8854AO and 8868AO.
And
8868AO is a moving traffic violation. I'm gonna take no act, that's a driving while license suspended and no motorcycle license. I'm gonna take no action on that case, but the grand theft third degree case, 2022 CF 8854AO, I'm gonna revoke the bond on that case and set bond at none. So you have a public defender in that case. Until further order of the court, if they wanna file the appropriate motion to try to get you a bond, they can do that, but today we're gonna revoke it and set it.
Your Honor, and I would just make one argument. He was arrested July 30th, and to date, no information has been filed. And because of that, I would ask that you take no action.
So I don't have a bond?
Yeah, I'm gonna revoke it because it's
the same offense.
It's the same
We're gonna have
charge,
to call
so.
the attorney.
Yeah, when you're out on bond,
I just. Call the attorney. They have to file a motion for that bond because you violate the law again.
when you're out on bond, you're not entitled to a bond anymore when you get arrested on new stuff. And so I took no action on the driving while license suspended because they're not really related, but you're out on bond on a grand theft and picked up a new grand theft, so I gotta revoke the bond. Sorry, I don't wanna argue with you.
I have no fucking bond, I can't go home? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me? Come on, man, it's fucking stupid. What the fuck, dude?
All right, sir, what's your name?
Batista, Roman.
All right, Mr. Batista, you're here, trafficking in cocaine, 3 counts. 1 count trafficking cocaine over 400 grams. 1 count possession of cannabis, 20 grams. 1 count resisting an officer without violence. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause as to each count. I will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you.
Now?
You do, but give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, he's entitled to a bond. Okay. Yeah, and the bond schedule holds it at 250.
State, do you have a position on an appropriate bond in this case?
Your Honor, State would ask, the bond schedule has it at 250. I understand that's not, Your Honor can sway from that. However, State would ask that it stay at that 250, given that it is the bond schedule. He does have a recent failure to appear and pretty lengthy drug history, as well as prior VOPs, showing an inability to comply with court orders. And he is a multi-state offender, so State's concerned regarding his willingness to show back up for these charges, given that they are, it is a first-degree felony on count 1, so State would ask that it stay at 250.
All right, defense?
Your Honor, I would ask that you consider reducing the bond amount. My client can afford a $250 bond. Although he has the extensive history, I only see 1 failure to appear. His last conviction was back in 2017, and he's been in the Kissimmee area for over a year, been employed for 10 years. So I just ask that you consider all of those factors when setting the bond.
I'm gonna set bond in this case at $75,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2, and 100 on.
Reduced.
75,000 on count 1, and then 100 on.
Your Honor, just for the record, the State would object, given his history and given the value of the drugs, as he did have a full kilo in his vehicle, along with other drugs.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Well, that's $7,500 with a bondsman, which that cocaine costs more than $7,500. That State's, anyway.
All right. Ma'am, what's your name?
Sarah Belanger. And she qualifies for pretrial.
All right, Ms. Bellinger, you're here 1 count of DUI, 1 count of fleeing and eluding. State, do you have a position on fleeing and eluding? I think technically, I mean, there is probable cause. Do you have a, anyway, we'll just do it this way. You're gonna get released on what's called pretrial release, so it's non-monetary bond, that you do qualify. So you're gonna be released as it relates to these charges today without having to post a bond. I'm gonna appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause as to each count. So you're gonna be released as to both counts today, okay?
Can I ask a question?
Just understand, everything you say can and will be used against you. I don't wanna know about the facts of your case.
Your Honor, do you have any conditions for her? For pretrial? Any conditions? Any conditions that she must follow?
Yeah, we'll do, let me wait till
Your Honor, for the record, she is 19.
Okay, thank you.
All right, as a condition of your pretrial release, we're also going to order that you do not consume or possess any alcohol or medications without a valid prescription, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, sir, what's your name?
My name is Jimmy Bonham, sir.
You're here on battery on a firefighter. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're also out on bond on another battery and resisting officer without violence. Given the nature of the new offense, I'm going to take no action on the case you're out on bond on. I'm going to set bond. I'm going to stay the bond in the new case at $2,500. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Try
I
to
have a good holiday and stuff.
yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, sir. What's your name?
Troy.
Troy what?
Cannon.
All right, Mr. Cannon. You're here on 3 counts. 1 count possession of possession of concealed weapon or firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, 1 count resisting officer without violence. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'm gonna stay the bond on count 1 at $5,000. Stay the bonds on count 2 and 3 at $150, okay? All right, good luck.
So my bond have been posted?
Not that I know of, no.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Carlos Enrique Marin Vasquez.
All right. All right, sir, you're here on 2 counts. 1 count possession of MDMA, 1 count of trespassing and conveyance. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there's probable cause. I'm going to appoint as to each count. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll stay the bond on count 1 at $1,000, set bond on count 2 at $100, okay?
Interested with us for no return.
And also, yeah, do not return to, what's it, Auto Mall? Can't go back to the Winter Park Auto Mall, okay?
Well, he said, you just said you can't go back, and that's the bond. That's it.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Ryan Cole.
All right, Mr. Coe, you are here on 3 counts. 1 count possession of burglary tools, 1 count carrying a concealed weapon, 1 count trespass on property after warning. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause as to each count. In count 1, you set bond at $2,500, count 2, $100, count 3, $100, okay? I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, but those are your bonds on those. Also, that you do not return to UCF, okay? All right. All right, sir, what's your name?
Joylis.
Oh, ma'am, what's your name?
Joylis.
What's your last name?
Delgado.
All right, ma'am, you're here on 5 counts. 1 count possession of cocaine, 1 count possession of, or using paraphernalia to transport drugs. 1 count carrying concealed weapon, unlicensed firearm, 1 count grand theft, greater than $750, less than $5,000. 1 count of resisting an officer without violence. Give me 1 second. All right. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. Say, what is the paraphernalia charge? The
There were 2 crack pipes with burnt residue and Burlow.
But that's just possession of paraphernalia, it's not the.
That's what the charge is, Your Honor.
Okay,
That's how it comes in on, FHP.
okay. Thought it might be, but it's, yeah, all right. So I find probable cause, I've reviewed the arrest affidavit, I do find probable cause as it relates to each count. Count 1, I'm gonna set bond, stay the bond at 2,000. Set bonds on all the others at, $100. You're also out on bond in 2 cases, both of those grand thefts. In 2022 CF 10925 AO and 2022 CF 10578 AO. Given the nature of the new charges, I'm gonna revoke the bonds in both of those and set bonds at none. Okay, you have public defenders, you have attorneys represented to appoint you in each of those cases, so if you're gonna need a bond, they need to file motions with the appropriate court, okay?
Your Honor, Mrs. Delgado also has a second case, a no valid.
Committed the same crime.
Oh, okay. Also, 1 count of operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. I reviewed the arrest affidavit, find that there is probable cause, I'll set bond in that case at $100. Okay? Thank you.
You're gonna have to, okay, so call the attorney and they can go through it with you.
All right, what's your name?
Jalen Dobbs.
All right, Mr. Dobbs. You're here 1 count of fleeing and eluding, 1 count possession of a controlled substance with a weapon, 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon, 1 count of resisting an officer with violence. Say, do you have an argument as the resisting with violence?
I actually do.
Hold on. Everything you say can and will be used against you. We're not talking about the facts of your case, other than what's written on the paper. Today, we're just setting bond and conditions of release. So everything's being recorded.
Right.
I don't want to know about the facts of your case. I don't want to say something. I don't want you to say something that may be used against you later. Okay. All right. I may see. I state as. I see. I think. Oh, it's resisting without.
Mostly as of.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. All right. Now that I've read the last line, I think they even said it was without. I do find probable cause for without.
Thank
Okay. So I find probable cause as to counts 1, 2, and 3 as they came in. Count 4, I do find there's probable cause for resisting without violence. Give me 1 second.
And with.
All right.
Your Honor, as to the possession of controlled substance with a weapon, I would ask if you consider reducing. It wasn't a large amount of pills. He had 2 small pills.
Now, the pills aren't my concern. It's more the weapon. It looks like he has a conviction on July of this year of discharging a firearm in public.
Can I speak?
And,
Well,
clerk,
I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'd advise you to talk to them first. Again, like I said, I just don't want you to say something that may be used against you.
Yes, sir.
All I'm going by is what the cops wrote down. At this stage in the proceedings, I just go by what's on the paper. I know that a lot of times things don't happen the way they're written. Sometimes they happen exactly how they're written. Sometimes they don't happen the way they're written. But we're not doing that today. Today, we just go by what the cops wrote down, okay? For better or
Understood.
worse, all right?
and Madam Clerk, for count 4, there was PC for resisting without, and that's 843.02.
843.02?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, State, do you have a position as to appropriate bond?
Your Honor, state shares the same concern that you've already put on record, that he has the discharging a firearm in public a few months ago, as well as other drug charges and other violent arrests. I also believe he's out on probation for that case. It appears out of Duval. So given that he is possibly currently on probation, as well as picking up these new offenses, state would ask that you stay the bond, given that he does have that prior history.
All right. Count 1, I'm gonna set bond at $1,000. Count 2, I'm gonna set bond at $25,000. Count 3, set bond at $100, count 4, $100. Condition of your bond that you do not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, okay?
Yes, sir.
One was 1,000, two is 25,000. All right, sir, what's your name?
Roy Ford.
All right, Mr. Ford, you're here on 2 cases. 1 count aggravated stalking with a credible threat. And that's in case 2022 CF 13534AO. And then in 2022 CF 13532AO, it's 1 count attempted burglary of a dwelling, 1 count criminal mischief, and 1 count stalking. In both cases, I reviewed the arrest affidavit. Yep. Okay. I do find that there is probable cause as to each count in both cases. And ma'am, what is your name?
Clarissa Brown.
All right, Ms. Brown, are you the alleged victim in this case?
Excuse me?
Are you the alleged victim in these cases?
Yes.
All right. So I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I mean, I gotta ask, but I think I'm gonna know the answer. Are you currently afraid of Mr. Ford?
Yes.
So you don't want to have any contact with him?
No contact at all.
No contact whatsoever, right?
None whatsoever.
You guys don't live together, right?
No, not at all.
Okay. Stay, do you have anything?
No, Your Honor, I believe she covered it.
Ma'am, is there anything else you want the court to consider when setting a bond in this case?
No, I just don't want him around me.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay. You said that. All right, well, thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Ford, I've found probable cause in each count in each case. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, so you have an attorney helping you out. I'm gonna order as a condition of your bond that you have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Brown, okay? That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, third parties. You can't tell people to relay a message. No contact whatsoever. You also can't return, is it apartment complex where you live?
Yes.
All right, you can't go, he doesn't live in the apartment complex,
No.
right? All right, you can't go back to the apartment complex, not just her apartment, the whole complex, okay? Can't go back there.
Your Honor, state would also ask for no weapons, just given the nature of the charges.
Yeah, we're gonna also order that you possess no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. In 2022 CF 13532AO, I'm gonna set bond on count 1 at $20,000. Count 2, $100. Count 3, $250. And then in the other case, 2022 CF 13534AO, I'm gonna set bond in that case at $15,000, okay? All right, good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
Hart.
All right, Mr. Hart, you are here. 1 count of driving while licensed suspended as habitual traffic offender. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. You find there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm gonna stay the bond at $2,500, all right?
Yes, sir.
As a condition of your bond too, I'm gonna order that you do not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck.
You have a hold on your Hey, pretrial, can you tell me? On the Volusia? Does he still have a hold, or can he bond on his Volusia County case?
He still has the hold for Volusia, but there is a bond amount on there for $1,000.
If you post a bond here, you can pick it up.
All right, so what's your name?
Keyshawn Howell.
All right, what's your name?
I'm Shanita Grayson, John Grayson, his parents. We just want to be able to hear. Yes, sir.
All right, well, usually at these hearings, we only take testimony from alleged victims to determine conditions from release. I'm glad that you're here, though, but I may not have any questions for you, but I appreciate you for being here, okay? All right. All right, your name was Howell?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you here on 5 counts. 1 count trafficking in MDMA, 1 count possession of cannabis with intent to sell, deliver with a weapon, 1 count possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams with a weapon, 1 count carrying a concealed firearm, 1 count possession of firearm and commission of a felony. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. All right. How old are you?
24.
All right, count 1, I'm gonna set bond at $20,000. Count 2, set bond at $100. Count 3, set bond at $100. Count 4 and 5, I'm also gonna set bond at $100. I'm also gonna order that you have no contact with John Terrius Cole or Christopher Pendleton. No contact with either one of them, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just-
So you have bonds, those are your conditions. You have contact with either one of them, and anyone finds out about it, you come back and be held no bond, okay? All right.
Your Honor, just for the record, state would object, given that count 1, the bond schedule has it at $100,000 due to him also having a firearm, which he admitted to.
Yeah, I took that into consideration. He just has no history. And I'm glad mom and dad are here, so.
They just took it from me.
They're not gonna give it back because there is some drugs. Really quick. I'm just gonna, he just wanted.
That's fine.
I get, the bond is 10% with the bail bondsman. Apparently, he stated he doesn't know how that works, but you guys would have to contact a bail bondsman to try and bond him out.
Yes, ma'am. We're on top of it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Your Honor.
As the state said, I don't know if you heard mom and dad, kinda got a break on the bond. The bond schedule is what, $100,000. So it's the fact that he doesn't have any history, the court considered that in setting a bond, and the fact that you guys are here, the court considered that in setting a bond. So not ordering you to do anything, but, you know, I know you guys are concerned about him, so do what you can, all right? I order that he don't have contact with those other kids he's running around with, all right?
Thank you.
All right, sir, what's your name? Sir, what is your name?
Trayvon.
Trayvon what?
Law.
And he qualifies for pretrial.
All right.
State has no objection.
All right, you qualify for what's called pretrial release. You're here on 1 count of possession of cannabis over 20 grams. The court's reviewed the arrest affidavit, does find that there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, and I'm gonna order that you be released on pretrial release, okay? That's non-monetary release. You'll be released as it relates to this charge today. All right? Good luck.
Any conditions for him?
Yes.
Standard. Yeah, nothing in particular.
No conditions?
We'll put in there, and since his attorney, we'll put in just don't possess any illegal drugs.
Okay.
All right, right, ma'am, what's your name?
And she qualifies for pretrial as well.
All right, any objections, State?
None.
All right, Ms. McGowan, you're here one count of possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find that there is probable cause. You do qualify for pretrial release. We'll put you on pretrial release. I will let you know your co-defendant, she was in here earlier. She was out on bond of other charges. Her bond's been revoked. She's being held no bond, okay? But so if you pick up new stuff while you're out on pretrial release, you're not entitled to a bond anymore. You come in here and there's a very good chance you'll be sitting in here no bond until you can resolve your case, okay? So I'm just letting you know what happened to the person that was in the car with you. Let that, hopefully be a wake-up call, all right?
Sure.
All right, good luck. Oh, well, appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you as well.
And any conditions for her?
Yeah, do not possess any or medications without a prescription, whatever you. Okay, what's your name?
Aiden Perez.
All right, Ms. Perez, you're here one count of battery on a law enforcement officer, one count of resisting an officer without violence. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. Do find there is probable cause as to each count. Set bond on count 1 at $1,500. Count 2, stay the bond at $100. Okay?
Your Honor, state would ask for no return to sidebar/room 22.
All right, can't go back to sidebar or what, room 22?
Yes,
Go back there as a condition of your release, all right? All right, good luck. All right, sir, what's your name?
All right, ready?
And he qualifies for pretrial.
All right. All right, you're here on one count possession of a weapon and commission of a felony, one count fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, one count of reckless driving. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. State, any objection to pretrial release?
Your Honor, state will leave it within your discretion. State's only concern is the handgun.
And, Your Honor, I would just point to the fact that he has no criminal history. And so I just ask that you consider that and allow him to be on pretrial release.
Yeah. We're going to put you on pretrial release. A condition of your, so you're going to be released as it relates to this charge without having to post a bond, okay? A condition of your release, though, is going to be that you do not possess any weapons, firearm, or ammunition. If you violate any of the conditions of pretrial release, you can be brought back here and held no bond, okay? All right, good luck. Appointed the PD, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Johnny Turner.
All right, Mr. Turner. You're here one count of possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. One count of possession of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there is probable cause. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Yeah, I'll stay the bond on count 1 at $1,000. Set the stay the bond on count 2 at $100. Okay. Is that all of them?
Yes.
All right, thank you, everyone. We'll be in recess till tomorrow.